to me, it was one of the most beautiful concepts and a different way to think about being quote unquote fixed. And it wasn't the idea that we are perfect the way we were before something happened to us, but rather it is that we get to wear our cracks with a new type of pride and a new type of beauty. I would safely say the lowest point of my life was my mother being shot. So it's crazy that we did speak about it. Um, how did I overcome it? I don't think I would be so arrogant as to say that I have overcome it. I think I'm constantly working to overcome it.
Do you ever overcome these
I
things?
don't know, to be honest with you. I really don't know because it's strange because I don't know what that means or doesn't mean. Does it mean you don't think of it anymore? Does it mean it doesn't affect you anymore? I don't know what the answer to that question is. Maybe overcoming something means that it now no longer negatively influences you. Or I don't know. I don't think that we have like one fixed idea of overcoming something that isn't tangible. It's not like scaling a mountain. So the honest answer I would give is, yeah, I just give myself grace and I try and work at it. I try and understand that it's all a work in progress. One of my favorite things I learned recently, and I guess it speaks to this, is I should remember the name. I always remember stories and not like the names of things or the dates. But there's a beautiful art form that I learned about when I was in Japan recently, and basically it's a practice of repairing pottery and ceramics that have broken, right? And what happens is, you break a plate or you break a vase or something, and what they do is they put it back together. There are these artisans who do it, but they don't just glue it back together. They glue it back together and they sort of adorn it with like a golden bondage. And what you get is an object that is somehow more beautiful than before it was broken. And it's this beautiful Japanese tradition. I'm sure you could find the name and put it out there. But it's if you could help me with it. But it's so, to me it was one of the most beautiful concepts and a different way to think about being quote unquote fixed or overcoming, or it is the art of Kintsugi in Japan. And learning about this blew my mind because it was such a it was a paradox shifting way for me to think about overcoming or being better. And it wasn't the idea that we are perfect the way we were before something happened to us, but rather it is that we get to wear our cracks with a new type of pride and a new type of beauty, and that's maybe how I think of overcoming now. Is I think of myself like a ceramic that has been cracked many times, and because of the love in my life and because of great therapists and because of good people and because I've worked and I've managed to find ways to put gold bondage in those cracks to somehow find a little more beauty in myself than I had before the thing that happened to me. And so, yeah, that absolutely, every time I see those, it actually makes me emotional when I look at each one and I think about the story sort of the person that each vessel contains.